And I also want to welcome those of you, our audience, who are joining us virtually. Choral Arts New England's mission is to elevate choral music and creativity. And today is all about celebrating the work of choruses throughout New England. Our annual Alfred Nash Patterson grants support choral groups and their programs. And we've supported some really wonderful projects over the years, and this afternoon we'll learn more about this year's awards. I always find the creativity and imagination of our choral community inspiring. Due to the generosity of our donors, our awards this year virtually double amounts we had been able to distribute in prior years, and we're really excited about that. Our donors' generosity has also enabled us to inaugurate a special grant honoring David Hoos, which we anticipate awarding biannually beginning next year, so stay tuned. And we're working to add another grant to honor John Oliver. We also confer Lifetime Achievement Awards to recognize exceptional contributions to the choral arts in New England. Today, we're delighted to honor Dan Perkins, and more on that later. We support the choral community in other ways. Our website contains materials useful to chorales, including a concert calendar, chorus directory, audition information, and we also sponsor occasional symposia. During COVID, we had a wonderful series on diversity, equity, and inclusion, as it specifically relates to choral singing. And we're now considering challenges to choruses throughout New England in the post-COVID world. We're going to start our afternoon with some choral music. But before we begin, let me ask you, how many of you are choral singers? All right. How many of you are music professionals? Okay. And how many of you enjoy choral music? Okay. As I've been thinking about our gathering today, I've been reflecting on the communities that are created by choral singing. First, and somewhat obviously, there's the chorus itself, there's a social community, but there's also a community created by joining together with others to create something beautiful, something that can only be created by a community. There's also a connection between composer, director, chorus, instrumental musicians, which I think is also a community. It's ephemeral, but it has a lasting impact. Finally, there's the community created by the performance. Again, chorus, director, instrumental musicians, and audience. Also ephemeral, also with lasting effect. I'm sure you, like me, retain strong memories of concerts long ago. Interestingly, the beneficial effects of participating in choral music, both as a singer or as an audience member, are beginning to be studied scientifically. I started a deep dive into this, but I'm not going to go there now. Finally, as the events of recent weeks have imposed a different context on all of our lives, I find myself reflecting on how much there is to learn about other people through music. Choral music is central to virtually every culture in the world, and I personally believe we can learn a great deal about other people by singing their music. I hope this kind of gentle learning can take hold. So having said that, our first order of business is some choral singing. Our choir here today is formed by participants from the New Hampshire Master Chorale, Manchester Choral Society, New Hampshire Friendship Chorus, Plymouth State University alumni, and it's conducted by Dr. Dan Perkins, our 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, and they will be accompanied by Charles Blood on the piano.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you all very much for being here and for singing, taking time out of your days. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very beautifully done. I'm Lisa Nappi. I'm the clerk of Choral Arts New England, and I have some remarks from our vice chair, Ellen Gilson-Voth, who wasn't able to be here today due to some professional responsibilities. Here's what she wanted to share with you. This note comes with my greetings to all the conductors, singers, and choral arts supporters that are together for this ceremony today. I am definitely with you all in spirit. The poem we just heard, Sure on This Shining Night, has always resonated with me as I think of stars in the Adirondacks at our family vacation place over many summers. James A.G. wrote, "Sure on this shining night, I weep for wonder, wandering far alone of shadows on the stars." Thinking about the needs in our world, there is an enormous amount that weighs us down, that keeps us looking down. Yet the speaker of this poem is looking up and seeing beauty, even in the blackness. The bold images in the media and the ongoing currents below the daily headlines prove how our work as choral artists is more vital than ever. There are so few places where we can come together with others and create beauty, and where we can guide others to find beauty both in expected and unexpected ways. I hope the time today to honor this year's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, to hear about the creative projects that Kane is supporting, and to connect with each other will inspire all of us. That we take a piece of that inspiration back to our ensembles and communities and all of the corners where we work and serve. And that we can celebrate and keep celebrating the beauty that choral music best creates.
Good afternoon, I'm Jonathan Harvey. I'm the co-chair of the Choral Arts New England Grants Committee, along with my colleague Amy LeClaire, and we'll be walking you through the exciting projects and laudable organizations that we were lucky enough to be able to support this year with our Alfred Patterson grants. The first project and organization is the Boston Choral Ensemble's Pop-Up Boston program of performances in non-traditional concert spaces across the city. And it was the winner of the Kane Board Chairs Grant, which is sponsored by contributions from former chairs and vice chairs of Choral Arts New England. In 2023, this grant was specifically designated for projects directed at the future of choral music. So I'd like to welcome Catherine Chan up here to tell us a little bit about it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Catherine Chan, the Artistic Director of Boston Choral Ensemble. And on behalf of BC, I would like to thank the Choral Arts New England for this grant award in support of our pop-up series. As the name of the concert series suggests, we pop up in different locations around Boston and the greater Boston area. At BCE, we believe in bringing choral arts to our community, meeting people where they are. With so many concerts performed in places of worship like churches, we felt the need to find performance space that provides access to a greater community, and that is in a non-traditional space like libraries and museums. These are all free 30-minute concerts for family, and we literally just pop up, sing, move along to our next venue. And as part of our mission at BCE, we strive to perform music from all genres and traditions. For the pop-up series, the repertoire performed is reflective of our community, the traditions and the cultures and languages that are spoken around Boston. This initiative started last year, where we performed in 3 locations, this year 4, and we actually performed yesterday, where we were at the Thomas Crane Library in Quincy, Master Art Museum, Rotten Huntington, finishing over at Copley Square at BPL, and then tomorrow we've got one more over at Deloitte. One of the greatest joys I have in this series is looking out to the audience and seeing the many different generations that are present in the audience, and a very diverse community. Walking off the street, and as soon as they hear music, they're attracted by what we're doing. And to see people dancing, young children even yesterday, they were grooving along to music. The little girl who was just conducting a bit of art paired with me, apparently. So again, thank you so much for supporting our work at BCE.
Our next awardee is Ensemble Altera in Rhode Island to support Sing Out in Schools, a program through which Ensemble Altera will visit Title I schools in underserved communities in Rhode Island, where they will present a curriculum they developed in conjunction with local music educators to educate and inspire youth through an encounter with choral music. And here's the video.
This is Christopher Lowry, founder and director of Ensemble Altera, coming to you today from Vienna, Austria, where I'm working on a staged production of Handel's Theodora. I'm so sorry that I can't be with you in person to attend the ceremony. I wanted to say thank you so much to Choral Arts. Hello, Choral Arts New England. This is Christopher Lowry, founder and director of Ensemble Altera, coming to you today from Vienna, Austria, where I'm working on a staged production of Handel's Theodora. I'm so sorry that I can't be with you in person to attend the ceremony. I wanted to say thank you so much to Choral Arts New England for this award, from the board to the trustees to donors to the committee who decided, as well as to our fellow nominees and awardees. Really, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Our work is called Sing Out in Schools, and it's education and outreach work, which is vitally important. As I say to everyone that gives me the time of day, I believe very firmly that we are living in a new golden age of choral music, both in terms of standards of performance and in composition. So long may this age continue. I think the best thing that we can do to ensure that it continues is an investment in the future. And so our Sing Out in Schools initiative targets students who may not have access to the most robust music education in their schools. Typically, these schools are underserved or who cater to a majority poverty level students and families. These students deserve a rich and robust education and exposure to the art form that we all know and love, because they are tomorrow's artists and audience. critics, philanthropists, the whole ecosystem is what we're investing in. So I can't thank you enough for seeing the value of this work and for your support in our ongoing efforts. Thank you again. I hope to see all of you at some point in the near future in New England at one of Ensemble Altera's concerts, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. Thanks.
We'll have some other videos. Let's get in the habit of clapping for those videos. Our third awardee this afternoon is the Friends of the Music Hall in New Hampshire. We're supporting their commissioning of new music for the Music Hall in celebration of Portsmouth, New Hampshire's 400th anniversary, specifically a cantata for orchestra, chorus, narrator, and soprano soloist by Gregory W. Brown. And to tell us more about that, we have Greg Brown.
Hi, good afternoon. It's a joy to be here today and see some old friends, make some new friends, all through celebration of choral arts and choral music in New England. Over a year ago, I was contacted by the Music Hall in Portsmouth and the Portsmouth Symphony Orchestra, who had decided to co-commission a piece celebrating the 400th anniversary of Portsmouth, New Hampshire's founding. Having grown up in the seacoast of New Hampshire, about 12 miles away from the Music Hall, it was a natural fit, and I was thrilled to be asked. I was also thrilled to be able to work with my longtime collaborator and Seacoast resident, the award-winning poet Todd Herron. We have been attending rehearsals. The premiere is 2 weeks from today, in fact, 2 weeks from right this very moment, and we're very eager to share the music with everyone. All of us who are involved are so grateful that this has been made possible in part by a generous grant from Choral Arts New England. On behalf of the Music Hall, the Friends of the Music Hall, the Portsmouth Symphony Orchestra, Portsmouth Pro Musica, and everyone involved, we thank you all for supporting this piece and hope to see some of you there. Thank you.
Congratulations, Greg. We know him well. Up next is the Kent Singers in Connecticut for the gift to sing to support the commissioning of a new work by young composer Joel Thompson to celebrate the group's 50th season, reflecting on its history and looking to the future, and to contribute to the choral repertoire. The work will lift the voices of Black poets and composers who have too often been excluded from classical music and will be made available for choirs everywhere after its premiere. And again, we have a video.
Hi, I'm Knox Sutterfield, conductor of the Kent Singers in Western Connecticut. And unfortunately, none of us could be there in person this weekend, but we wanted to send our gratitude for the generous support of Choral Arts New England. One of the pillars of the Kent Singers' mission is bringing quality performances of choral music to our community. And we understand an important part of that mission to be expanding the tent of whose music is included. One of the best ways we can do that is by commissioning living artists, and specifically composers who come from historically repressed identities and communities, and bring new music from them into the repertoire as we continue to work with so many others to create a more inclusive and expansive view of classical music. We're really appreciative of the support because we want to compensate artists fairly, and that takes resources. So we are so happy and thankful that you have helped us put together the resources to make this happen. Thank you.
Our next recipient is the Metropolitan Chorale in Massachusetts for their project Building Fundraising Capacity, Creating a Framework for Goals and Strategies, wherein the chorale will engage fundraising-focused consulting services to inform long-term fundraising efforts as the organization seeks to reconnect with patrons and the greater Boston community after the disruption to in-person performances due to the pandemic, also in connection with the 20th anniversary of their music director. This particular project was supported by the Choral Arts New England Board grant, sponsored by contributions from the board members of Choral Arts New England, and is intended to advance the priorities that the board sets in any given year. In 2023, this grant was established to provide support for capacity building projects as organizations continue to find ways forward amid an unpredictable pandemic environment. And we again have a video acknowledgement.
Hello, my name is Kristen, and I'm the president of the Metropolitan Chorale based in Boston, Massachusetts. We are a 100-voice auditioned chorus, and we are one of the best ensembles in the city, if I do say so myself. We have great innovative programming that inspires both our performers and our audiences alike. And our mission is to unite vocal musicians who share the joy of learning and performing diverse repertoire and creating collaborations across the city of Boston that enrich our cultural lives. This Alfred Nash Patterson grant we've been so graciously given by Kane will fund our collaboration between our board, our resource development team, and Dee Boyle Clapp, who is the director of the UMass Arts Extension. And this will help us create a framework for our fundraising goals and strategies that will include both long and short-term projects. The Arts Extension Service is a national arts organization located at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and their staff lead in the arts management and arts entrepreneurial fields, serve the arts through education, research, and consulting. And start this super important work with our organization. Thank you so much for providing us with the money to.
Our next recipients are the New England Classical Singers in Massachusetts for a deeply collaborative performance between them and the Methuen High School Chorus to present Mozart's Solemn Vespers, Koelschel 339, students and choral members will rehearse together, and elements of music history, theory, vocal coaching, and advanced choral conducting will be presented to enrich the experience. It is hoped that students will be inspired to see how much music can be a lifelong pursuit or even a career goal, dare we say it. And I would like to welcome Jim and Diane Affleck up to speak. Jim Affleck.
Good afternoon, and thank you. My name is Jim Affleck. I'm the president of the New England Classical Singers, a group that I joined in January of 1990, when my voice was a little better, my range was a little better. Our artistic director, David Hodgkins, really wanted to be here today, but unfortunately he was otherwise occupied, so he asked me to say a few words on his behalf. So I and he would like to thank you for your work in supporting the choral arts. Let me try that again. Thank you for your work in supporting the choral arts in New England. Your tireless efforts have not only helped hundreds of choruses over the years, but the ripple effect to their audiences, I'm sure, has now reached tens of thousands by this point. One of those audiences has been the high school students in underserved communities in the greater Merrimack Valley. Every spring for 20 years, the New England Classical Singers collaborated with the Lawrence High School Girls Ensemble and their director, Nancy McGee, to explore major choral work with professional orchestra and soloists and present it as a free concert to the community. Now, every spring, for almost 3 months, members of NECS would travel weekly to Lawrence High School and rehearse in their space, working together towards a high-level musical goal, while also building relationships with the students and the school. Some of the pieces we explored were the Dubois' Seven Last Words, the Fauré Requiem, the Haydn Lord Nelson Mass, to name just a few. And it was an amazing experience for everyone involved. Sadly, the pandemic wiped out the choral program at Lawrence High School, but last year, NECS started a new collaboration using the same format, this time at Methuen High School, with the Methuen High School Chorus and their conductor, Ben Woodard. Our initial exploration last year was the Schubert Mass in G. Now, today's award will help support our second project in Methuen, this time preparing for Mozart's Vespre Solonistic Confessore, and our hope is that this yearly gathering will occur for years to come. This is only our second year with Methuen, and we're trying to make sure that this continues year after year. And at a time when the choral arts in schools and committees are still suffering the ill effects of the pandemic, it is more important than ever that organizations like Choral Arts New England continue to help make possible the amazing work that community choruses are doing. We also encourage other choruses to expand their educational outreach by collaborating in real time with school committees in performance and opportunities. The rewards are well worth the effort. So thank you again, Choral Arts New England, for your support of the New England Classical Singers, and I hope everyone has a successful season. And I would just like to add that it is really a rewarding experience for the singers themselves, the NECS singers, to see these young high school kids really get into this music, and especially when they hear the orchestra, their eyes, you know, big and wide, and they really have a wonderful time, and we all really enjoy it. So thank you again.
Our next recipients are the New Hampshire chapter of the American Choral Directors Association to support a workshop with the American Spiritual Ensemble for New Hampshire music educators to inspire and empower teachers to use spirituals in their curricula and performances. And to speak on their behalf, we welcome Will Gunn.
I'm actually wearing a couple different hats today. My first hat is the past president of the ACDA chapter in New Hampshire, and my other hat is the mixed choir chair for NHMEA's All-State Festival. And for the past 18 months, I've been working with the booking manager of the American Spiritual Ensemble to bring them to do a concert series in our area. So I'm excited that we finally got contracts signed. So they will be doing a concert Friday, April 5th at the Capitol Center for the Arts, Saturday, April 6th in Worcester, and then Sunday, April 7th in Portsmouth. So they'll be here all weekend. So if you're available one of those evenings, I highly suggest that you check them out because they are an incredible ensemble. Friday, April 5th, though, you'll have to join about 400 high school students because we are bringing all of the All-State students from our spring conference to that concert. And what this grant will do is it will actually provide a workshop for all music teachers in New Hampshire at our NHMEA conference. So if you're an NHMEA member, make sure to register for this year's spring conference because they'll be given our keynote address, and the keynote address will actually be a community sing. So they'll come and actually teach some spirituals by rote to all of our members and provide resources and valuable information about preserving the African American spiritual in our teaching. So thank you so much to Choral Arts New England, and make sure to book those tickets. It just became live on the Capitol Center website, so I hope to see some of you there. Thank you so much.
It's an exciting time in New Hampshire. Our next awardee is the Nightingale Vocal Ensemble of Massachusetts, a professional ensemble. Sadly could not be here, and they're so busy they could not send a video either, so we'll accept on their behalf. They have won the award to support a series of concerts at the Hayden Planetarium. Everybody know where that is? Raise your hand if you do. Downtown Boston. At Boston's Museum of Science, exploring the ways in which the stars have been a source of fascination for humankind, featuring 5 newly commissioned works by local composers on the themes of the constellation. It is planned to offer a discounted or free tickets to students in the school groups, so keep that in mind. The Nightingale Vocal Ensemble is the recipient of the Irving Ford's Centennial Grant, which is intended to support projects involving community choruses performing large works with orchestra and/or music that celebrates nature and the out of doors, and the planetarium certainly does that. So I hope we all can congratulate them virtually right here and now.
Our next recipient is the Providence Singers of Rhode Island. Their supported project is a performance of Craig Hella Johnson's Considering Matthew Shepard on the 25th anniversary of Shepard's murder, a performance accompanied by video projections and in partnership with local LGBTQ+ community organizations. And we have a video acknowledgement.
Hi, I'm Christine Noel, and I'd like to thank Choral Arts New England for supporting the Providence Singers' upcoming performance of Considering Matthew Shepard, a musical meditation on a young man's life and tragic death. On the 25th anniversary of that event, this music is a reminder of how far we've come and how much remains to be done. Building community and raising awareness are central goals of this concert. The singers will be joined by the Rhode Island Gay Men's Chorus, who will premiere a work written for this event. And several local LGBTQ organizations have been invited to attend and will have the opportunity to network with concert attendees and set up tables where they can share their message and their materials. We deeply appreciate your support of this important work and this story, which needs to be shared. Thank you.
And next up, a children's chorus. The South Shore Children's Chorus in Massachusetts for A World to Belong, a summer children's choir program for grades 4 to 12, which serves over 100 singers and brings in professional section leaders alongside the students to teach them in sectional voice class, sight singing class, and more. The theme of the program will be A World to Belong to, and here is a video. Not working? Well, let's give them a hand anyway. We need children's choruses more than ever.
Our next awardee is Voices 21C in Massachusetts for their project entitled Reflecting on Music of the Muslim World. This project, we are proud and happy to support their travel to Sri Lanka to join the World Muslim Choral Ensemble and bring back resources to share with the American choral community. This particular project is supported by the Richard Coffey Grant, which is instituted by friends of the visionary conductor and organist Richard Coffey, seeking to support projects of any kind that are transformative for the funded institution, whether musical, organizational, or experiential. And to speak on behalf of Voices 21C, I'd like to welcome Bradford Dumont.
Hello, hi friends. We know so many of you. Before we speak about Voices 21C, we want to say a few words about South Shore Children's Chorus in lieu of the video.
Yeah, we're both very good friends with Kirsten Oberoi, who is the artistic director of the ensemble, and both of us have been privileged to work with them during the summer choral intensive, which this grant is specifically supported. And it is an amazing week of choral music for high school aged and middle school aged singers all over the South Shore to come together with professional voice artists who serve as section leaders, to music theory class, voice pedagogy, engaging sessions from local experts in various areas, whether it's improvisation, performance anxiety, mindfulness practice, and so it's a brilliant week that she's developed, and I know that if she prepared a video, and though you didn't get to see it, she would express her immense gratitude for the support, and the work that she's doing is really incredibly inspiring. So just to say thank you on her behalf.
And for Voices 21C, we're thrilled to be standing here accepting this award. Voices 21C is a collective of artists. We all represent each other, so we don't stand here as two people, but we stand here as 25 active members of our choir and a community of over 70 people who consider themselves part of the Voices 21C family across the world. This summer, we had the privilege, through the support from the Choral Arts New England, to attend the first ever Sama International Choral Festival in Sri Lanka, in Colombo. And we were thrilled to be there. We were thrilled to take part in the rich musical traditions that we experienced as we brought together singers from Iran and from Manado State University in the Philippines, as we met singers from Pakistan and in India and in Kashmir and Dubai, all coming together for an interfaith dialogue. The mission of the organization is to promote peace and interfaith harmony and to confront misconceptions encountered by many. And for us, as Americans who are not practitioners of Islam entering into this space, our real goal was to consider, what do we see as misconceptions we can help address by learning and engaging with these communities when we come back to the United States.
It is core to our mission to use choral music as a locust for change and as a space where we can create a just, equitable, and peaceful world. And so we gather as a group of primarily choral educators, and we recognize the immense need for quality resources that share the musics of the Muslim world. And so we also understand that with those resources comes a deeper impact that sharing cultural products can have in creating understanding and bridging between communities. And so this specific grant will help us prepare resources that we will share in many spaces online for free at our website for a presentation for the American Choral Directors Association Eastern Division Conference in Providence this February, and as well as a program that we present annually with the Vilna Shul, which is the Jewish Center for Culture in Boston. They put together a program called Voices for Humanity, which brings together musics of the Muslim, Jewish, and Christian faiths, and that this work will support our ability to engage and represent the music of Islam as Voices 21C. We are hugely grateful to Choral Arts New England, to the legacy of Richard Coffey, and for this support of our work and their support more broadly of choral music across New England. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And last but not least, our final recipient for the Saxton Family Grant is the Worcester County Mechanics Association in Worcester to support Many Voices, Mechanics Hall Youth Singers, a choral opportunity for any Worcester 5th or 6th grader. Great. One of the most accessible music programs in the city, and particularly important since public school students in Worcester are disproportionately from low-income families. The program culminates with a performance. The Saxton Family Grant was instituted by Jonathan Saxton and Barbara Fox and is intended to support a unique and engaging effort in an underserved area or by a non-auditioned choir. And lastly, we have a video. Yes, good.
Hi, Choral Arts New England. First, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for selecting Many Voices as one of the recipients of your grants.
We have been able to offer this opportunity now for a full year and have seen the benefits to our young people here in Worcester. This 5th and 6th grade choir is free, that means no cost, no audition, and we provide transportation.
Many Voices is so special because it brings students together from all over Worcester.
So many of my students come out of their shell in ways that I haven't seen during
That they are strong, that they're powerful, that they're talented, and that with hard work and a lot of love, they're capable of creating a legacy that's rooted in something special and powerful.
Good afternoon. I'm Nathaniel Liu, a member of the board of Choral Arts New England. I'm the artistic director of the Vermont Vocal Ensemble Counterpoint, and as a representative of Northern New England, one of the very few representatives in Choral Arts New England of Northern New England, I thought I should wear corduroy and flannel, it wasn't flannel, corduroy and plaid and Carhartts to show that Northern New England is properly represented on this beautiful fall day in New Hampshire. The only person who drove south to the event. Anyway, it's my great pleasure to introduce the recipient of this year's Choral Arts New England Lifetime Achievement Award, who many of you know far better than I do. Dr. Dan Perkins is Professor Emeritus at Plymouth State University, where in 2007 he was appointed the first Stevens Bristow Distinguished Professor. He serves as music director of the Manchester Choral Society and Orchestra and is founder and music director of the New Hampshire Master Chorale. He is also a co-founder of the Educational Theater Collaborative. A passionate advocate for new music, Dr. Perkins's ensembles have premiered over 30 works. He has led international performance tours in more than 30 countries and has served as guest conductor or choral clinician in South Korea, Pakistan, China, Ecuador, South Africa, Chile, Hong Kong, and Vietnam. More about Vietnam to come, of course. He was principal guest conductor of the Vietnam National Opera and Ballet in Hanoi and was on the faculty of the Bassi Brugnatelli International Conducting and Singing Symposium in Robiate, Italy. He's also the director and pianist for the chamber ensemble Trio Veritas. Dr. Perkins holds the DMA and MM degrees in choral music from the Thornton School of Music at the University of Southern California and a Bachelor of Music in Piano Performance from Brigham Young. He also studied in Helsinki, Finland as a Fulbright scholar. Over decades of directing and conducting collegiate, youth, and adult choirs in New Hampshire and indeed around the world, Dr. Perkins has inspired singers, shared the great joys of choral music, advocated for new music, and earned the respect and admiration of his colleagues and choristers. Before turning the podium back to Mary, the chair of Choral Arts New England, I would like to append a few words about my own contact with Dan. Almost 20 years ago, I was a newly appointed collegiate choral director in Burlington, Vermont. With essentially no local contacts, I was seeking nearby venues to take my chorus to for a weekend tour. A student from Central New Hampshire suggested that I contact Plymouth State University, so with no introduction, I cold called or emailed the director of choral activities, a certain Dan Perkins, and proposed a joint concert. Dan proved a model of hospitality and warmth. He arranged and publicized a small concert or open workshop, I forget which, and agreed to joint repertory. That spring, we found ourselves in Plymouth, hosted by Dan and his chorus. He was gracious and welcoming to my small volunteer ensemble and ensured that his students were too. My clearest memory of the event is the fiendishly complex set of Vietnamese folk songs that he led his singers in, which he himself, of course, had coached the pronunciation for. In the succeeding years, I have had intermittent interactions with Dan. I have followed the extraordinary work of his ensembles. He has sent me repertory. We've chatted at the joint New Hampshire-Vermont Gather at the River conferences. Remember those? Those were wonderful. And I think this is the most interesting detail here, Dan and I had to decide which of us should take credit for the premiere of Gwyneth Walker's Songs of Ecstasy. It's complicated. Before Mary comes up to present the award to Dan, I would like to introduce Jane Van Zandt with a message from Dan's mother.
No, the message is very short, but before that, Mama Perkins called, Dan, where are you? Yeah, okay. Your mama called up during this program. I was going to put her on speakerphone, and then I thought better of it. But she sends you a hug. So her message, where is it? Her brief message is, she sent it yesterday. If you go to the award ceremony tomorrow, mention that we love him out west too, and would appreciate New Hampshire giving him more time to come out here to see us. So says Mama Perkins.
Thank you, Reverend Van Zandt. And here now is Mary Brody, the chair of Choral Arts New England, the Choral Arts New England Board, to present the award.
Thank you very much. Well, I haven't had the privilege of working with Dan Perkins either, so I reached out to some folks who have, and several comments emerged consistently. Inspiring, challenging, unique energy, mentor. Holds choruses to the same high standards that he holds himself to, but always communicating to them the confidence that they can meet those standards. I've been reflecting on that comment a lot. We've all encountered a lot of leaders with high expectations, very clear high expectations, but how many of them also are able to take that second step and inspire the confidence that we can meet them? Ask his choruses to engage with the music, to make the content and message of the piece their own. It's more than the technical aspects of the piece, more than the production of the notes. And also lots of comments about how much he has done for music in New England and for singers at all levels, and in New Hampshire, and for singers at all levels. So for his contributions to choral music, Choral Arts New England presents Dan Perkins with its Lifetime Achievement Award. Citation reads, Dr. Dan Perkins, in recognition of his outstanding contributions to choral music in New England. And if I could, I'll step down and maybe he could step up and I'll give it to him. Well, I'm just going to close by saying how delighted we are that you could all be here today, personally and virtually, to help us celebrate New England choruses who are doing creative, thoughtful, forward-looking things, and to celebrate the impressive lifetime achievement of Daniel Perkins. It's our custom to close these events with another choral piece, typically conducted by the Lifetime Achievement Award winner. But this time, and this would be a piece in which the entire audience joins, not simply a particular chorus. When we approached Dan, however, he suggested that two of his students conduct instead. And I'm beginning to think that this is pretty consistent with his practices as a mentor and supporter of other musicians and the careers of other musicians. So I'm going to turn this stage over to two of his students, Brad Dumont and Crystal Morin, who are going to both teach us and conduct us in the two songs that are listed in your programs. Afterwards, I invite you all to continue the celebration with a reception in the fellowship hall downstairs. It can be reached through this door on my right and your left. And then I just want to close with one other message, and that's a message of thanks to a lot of people who worked really hard to make this possible. I have to mention Lisa Nappy, who spoke earlier, who has done yeoman's work along with her committee to make this all come off. I'd like to thank Dan and his choir and Charles Blood for contributing a wonderful performance, and Brad and Crystal for the work that they're going to be about to embark in. Thank you all very much, and certainly all of you for coming.
I'm going to say a word from here before we get up and sing, and we will be standing to sing. It'll be exciting. There's a little context for this piece because when they asked us via Dan if we would lead some music, they said pick things that maybe everyone knows and that we could sing easily and that Dan might know. And in the spirit of Dan, I did not do that. And we picked some things, Crystal and me, that represent some of Dan's work. And this piece that we have, if you don't have a copy, Crystal has some extra copies, so just raise your hand and she can bring it around, is Zan Zendagi Azadi. And this in Farsi means woman, life, freedom. And this piece was written just last year, and I want to give some of this context for those of you who may not be aware. This piece is actually connected to the Voices 21C grant that we received. We made this connection to Farzad Omidi, the composer of this work, as an Iranian composer who came to Sri Lanka for the festival 2 summers ago. As some of you may know, there's been a lot of political action going on in Iran over the last 13 months in response to the death and murder of Mahsa Amini, which you can see marked here. If there's one thing, and there's many things that we learned from Dan, but if there's one thing that we learned from Dan, it's to take our music and put it into action. Take it somewhere and make it go. Let it have a voice, not let it just be about the singing. It has to be deeper than that. So I want to share a message from Farzad, who wrote this piece, asking us if we could sing it today. This was written, Farzad wrote this back in November of last year, and he says, as you may know, it's been about 3 months that people have been protesting in Iran, and the regime is arresting and killing people, especially young people, artists, and especially musicians, because their activities are much more than the others. In this situation, the most important and helpful thing for us is spreading the word and saying our voices as Iranians in international communities. It is very hard to comprehend what is happening these days. Most of them are incredibly unbelievable and painful, so it's essential to be witness and help stop this situation. Farzad asks if we can join together in singing this now 13 months later. He's since then fled Iran and is living in the Netherlands and is trying to raise awareness of the people of Iran and the women of Iran through music. And so Crystal will lead us in another song after this, but I'd like to ask that we all stand. I'm going to come down and let's learn a bit of this song. Can you repeat after me? Zam. Zam. Zendigi. 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 Zen. Zendigi. Zendigi. Azadi. Azadi. Zam. Zendigi. Azadi. Zam. Zendigi. Azadi. This means women, life, freedom. This is the chant going through the country of Iran right now for the past 13 months, but for the past 20 years in the Kurdish region before that. Repeat after me again. Zam Zendigi Azadi. Zam Zendigi Azadi. Woman, life, freedom. Woman, life, freedom. Azadi.
anybody who's sung with Dan before knows that singing is not passive. Singing is active, it is an embodied experience. And that's one of the biggest takeaways that I've had from a really long time of getting to know and work with Dan. I chose the song, Hold On, the African American spiritual, because throughout my time and working with Dan, there's been such an emphasis on spirituals and their legacy. Their legacy as a testament to the human spirit, as a testament to holding this impenetrable hope and sense of self-worth and value. And not only that, but their musical legacy in American music, where the legacy of spirituals have touched every aspect of music and popular music that is made today. And Dan always emphasized historical context. We never entered into a conversation or a rehearsal of a spiritual without understanding the deep trauma and pain from which this music emerged and came from. This version that I'm going to teach you, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the song. Yes, hold on. People are familiar. There's many, many different versions. The version I'm going to teach you is from the Justice Choir Songbook. If you're not familiar, the Justice Choir Songbook is this amazing collection that was created recently to serve as the collective music of this generation of people lifting their voices for change. You know, when we think back to the major protest movements of the past, there was a common musical language. And what is the common musical language of today? And this songbook aims to serve as those songs which we can unite our voices and say what it is we are standing up for and use our voices as a vehicle for change. Okay, are you ready to sing? Amazing. I'm going to just demo a little bit of the melody that you may be familiar with, but bear with me because it might be different. Oh, the one thing we did right was the day we started to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Okay, that's the melody. Oh, the one thing we did right. Your turn. Oh, the one thing we did right was the day we started to fight. Was the day we started to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Your turn. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. All together with me. Oh, the one thing. Oh, the one thing we did right was the day we started to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Before we sing anymore, talk with your neighbor. What is the prize? And don't settle on the first answer. Don't settle on the first answer. Take 30 seconds. What is the prize? And what are you holding on to? Talk. Talk with your neighbor. Even if you don't know them, meet them. Meet your neighbor. Find a neighbor. What is the prize? What are you holding on to? You got 10 more seconds. Use them. 10 more seconds. Okay, call them out. What's the prize? Justice, freedom, equity, peace, progress, connection, dignity, sense of belonging. Did I hear life? Life? Anything else? Safety for children. No one being above the law. And what are you holding on to? Call them out. Hope? Self-worth? That things won't stay the same? Each other? One more? Love. Brilliant. Can you sing that again? With that in mind? And can you move your body? And, as is the tradition, your body is an instrument. So I don't have to be the only one snapping or clapping. Yes, please stand. 2, 3. Oh, the one thing we Amazing. We're going to do that again. And you, after that, you're going to come up with your own verse. You didn't realize that I was putting you, to work right now, but I am. I'm so sorry. Ready? 2, 1. Every time you get the word hold on, your body's engaged. 1, 2, 3. The one thing we do right was the day we started. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Something. Don't be the passive participant that relies on the one person for all their ideas. So, collectively come up with a verse. Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum ba-da-dum. That's how much you have for your verse. Go. 2 minutes. Once we were out of undergrad, of course. Was there someone over here? We have a verse? When there's children running scared, what do we do to repair? Yeah. Can we sing that, please? And 3. When there's children running scared, what do we do to repair? Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. We will all be set free by love and unity. Let's sing that, please. 2 and 3. We will all be set free by love and unity. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
you've taught me about being endlessly passionate and to always take every opportunity that you have to make meaning and relevance in what you do. Give us the words one more time. Yes, please. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
So remember, folks, reception downstairs in the fellowship hall. We hope to see you all down there.